Hey guys, it's Hegemony, and I wanted to go over the 1.10 patch notes. What are the good changes? What are the bad? What do I think about the patch and how it's going to change the game and the future of the game? Um, Alright, so as we're looking, a lot of this stuff right here. Okay, so the note the notable stuff in this first section: 8 new quiver types. The old quiver types do not exist in the challenge leagues. Um, A new item has been added, an unset ring. The unset ring has the implicit mod as a socket, so there's no numerical value, it's just a socket. That's the exchange, so you could miss out on 10 all res, 30 of any resist. 2 stone rings will appear. Um, what's it called? Up to 30% crit chance, but 15 MF. So apparently that's the weight that they put on being able to put a socket in your ring by itself. What does that mean? What can you use? I don't know. Something that's like a curse or a aura. Sorry. What else can you put in there? Something like maybe self-cast Enduring Cry. Um, Other things like maybe Detonate Dead or Utility, Decoy Totem, something that doesn't really need supports. It's just like a utility, another thing to put in your Batman belt, utility belt. Um, so 13 uniques have been added. 2 item uniques can drop in either challenge league. That means 2 items will be shared between the leagues, and 1 item will be league specific. So that means 3 new uniques that are new league only. Um, Ambush will have 3, and Invasion will have 3 that are league specific. However, they will only share 2 out of those 3. The final encounter, Queen and Seer, has been added to the Apex. We all knew that you're going to get the exclusive Vaal themed character effect. They're going to be releasing more information about that. We knew about the Vaal skill gems and the Vaal fragments. This is the important part. Endgame maps do not contain secret corrupted areas. This, I think, is one of the upsetting things, as far as it's pretty much going to force high-level players to do these low-level zones, and I'm not really a fan of that. But I guess I could see why it would make sense. For the most part, in my perspective, I think I will be the one just getting rich and wealthy and buying the Vaal gems and maybe the Vaal fragments instead of having to farm them myself. I mean, I will do a good share of, leveling up myself and um, getting them as I go, but I don't think it's going to be worth the time to backtrack my level progression to get these items, unless they're like somehow soulbound or whatever. I especially think on hardcore, those fragments are going to pile up, and not many people are going to try or do them because it's, more often than not going to result into their death. Okay, so that's that. Vaal skill gems, 17, with more to be added later. That's more than what they said in the interviews. It was 13 at the time. I guess they finished 4 more. The Vaal Orb corrupts target item, modifying it unpredictably. Now this has a downside, a big downside. You can skunk your item. You can even make a perfect item and it'll re-roll. I'm guessing the chances of it re-rolling and completely ruining your piece of gear is very, very low, but probably enhancing it very, very high is also going to be very rare. So this is a devastating orb. It could make you cry or it could make you scream. This is what's going to cause the game to be so much more grindier because you're gonna have to level up a 2020 gem, and then you're gonna have the chance to improve it drastically with either quality or level. And some gems you would prefer the quality over, having up to what 3 to 5% or something like that. I'm not too sure on the exact max, but the game just got way grindier because there's going to be gems that de-level. De-leveling a gem is going to be demoralizing, and just getting each gem to 2020 and then attempting at it and then failing or succeeding. There are so many different number of mods you can roll, so what that means for the economy is you're going to see many fluctuation in prices. Veil gems, however, are the ones that will end up phasing in and phasing out depending upon how good they are. You have to remember that the Veil gem has no regular version, so it's either Veil gem or bust. So they're not going to be used in PvP because you don't have a reliable way to get orbs unless you're playing against a summoner. That would be the only exception. Um, that maybe you would use a Veil Orb, but even then you don't see many summoners in PvP. Hold on, I need to sneeze real quick. Another thing that's also important, you cannot use imprints. So, like we would like to think that, you imprint something, you Veil Orb it, if you didn't like the corruption, you take it back, but you're not able to modify it after that. So that's pretty frustrating. I mean, imprints itself, or eternal orbs themselves, cost a lot, and I think the cost is fair for Veil orbing, but I guess GGD wants to really make item progression to get that perfect. That perfect means perfect just goes up on a much higher level. Alright, so added 60 new boss monsters for the secret corrupted areas in the invasion league. This I have found very I'm blown away because if you ever watch the other interviews or understand their development process, you know that adding in monsters and mechanics and testing shit, it takes a lot of money. I'm honestly super surprised that this is the case. I wonder if some of these included, people's ruler of raid class. I wonder if those are the bosses. I'm guessing the Soulless Watcher, maybe one of those ruler of raid class. Added new monsters to Act 1 and 3. Soulless Watcher, it's used a charged up attack that blinds you when you're facing it. Okay, so what do I think about this? This is a neat change. However, I feel like this effect, the blind, is, it's circumstantial to where you're facing. However, there's a lot of desync in the game, and I think this is going to backfire and cause people to cry a lot because, you may be not facing them, but the mob is in a completely different area because you're desyncing. Hopefully, the charged up attack that it describes is not something that requires a lot of movement. If this mob is slow moving, that'd probably be beneficial for how it actually plays in the game. Yeah, so this blind, I think, is a cool new mechanic that they're adding and they're trying to add for the combat. However, I don't know how it's going to translate with the syncing issues. Either way, something you want to avoid, and yeah, free-for-all PvP has been added. The level caps between normal, cruel, and are 40 and 60 respectively. Added new 13 new unique items, Vaal themed, dropped by Itsiri herself. That is very cool. Um, can only be dropped by Itsiri. That means it's going to be well worth farming her. Um, hopefully she um, drops a fucking shitload of loot to make it worthwhile. Outside of being able to drop these 13 new uniques. Microtransactions, serifs, we all know that's, good eye candy. Alright, so moving along, those are some of the major changes. Minor dozen new uniques have been added. The Combs Heart has been displayed in multiple videos and still not implemented. I would highly doubt to see Combs Heart as a microtransactions or as a graphic 3D art, even though they do have it. I think it's just something that they're always keeping on a leash. Yeah, so I wouldn't expect that to be there, but a lot of other artwork I would expect. Death animations improved, that's cool. Zombie dismemberment, that's cool. Waypoints will now glow when you get them. Stash tabs. Alright, none of these are really pertinent. These are just visual aesthetics. Shrines. Shrines can now spawn in all leagues. The Thorn Shrine no longer spawns. So the Reflect Shrine no longer spawns. All rare monsters have a chance to spawn in Nemesis mod in all leagues. The Camouflage Nemesis Predator Nemesis mod no longer spawns. So you know that guy that even though you had Resolute Technique, you're missing because he had Acrobatics. This guy no longer exists, which is good because that guy was fucking annoying. The Blessing of Elements Nemesis mod now does considerably more damage. It did no damage before, so I'm guessing okay. That's not bad. The Shroud Walker Nemesis mod now gives a monster smoke effect with a larger radius. This is very, very frustrating. As far as the rare, it was nitty gritty to micro down correctly, but overall decent change. Many people are going to find this monster to be very, very annoying. Storm Herald Nemesis mod will not appear until level 60. So it looks like the damage is not nerfed. It's going to be the same, but you'll see it as soon as level 60. The way leech is applies to the player has changed. If you leech additional life while currently leeching, it no longer queues after the current leech. Technically, where multiple leeches are stacked, the largest one is used. Okay, so it's a lot of technical what do you call it, but overall it's not going to change too much. It's relatively going to feel the same. The Vaal over smash is now considered an attack. Now this is huge. I feel like they should have put this in bold because from what everyone knows, it's spell block, and it would be really shitty if somebody assumed one day that they were going to spell block it with Sathel's Frame or something. I don't know, but this may cause some deaths because people aren't aware. Who knows? It can now be evaded or blocked, but not spell blocked. So that's pretty awesome. Spell Totem, Range Attack Totem have now the multiplicative cast and attack speed penalties. This is a nerf to Dual Totem builds. I'm surprised. It's also going to nerf the rate Summon Scaly spawn. Yeah, this I'm not too sure. Many people barely used them anyways, and now to nerf them even further, I don't know. I don't know about that. Barrage, the attack speed penalty has been removed, so Barrage has been buffed, like promised in the podcast. Desecrate. The maximum level of created corpse has changed to be higher than the required level of the skill. This scales up to a monster level cap of 100 by level 20 of the gem. Desecrate now enforces a maximum of 15 corpses at a time. This is good, so it will scale with the zone that you're in, but not exceed 100 to keep the damage competitive. So I think this is a good change. It's a buff. Um, Spectral Throw now deals 46% weapon damage at level 1. So we're going to take a look. Spectral Throw at level 1 what is 60%. So that's a 14% damage nerf at level 1. However, it will remain unchanged at level 15 and higher. Not too bad. Oh, it says by level 15 you'll be dealing 60% of weapon damage. Okay, so level 15, it says 42%. That's projectile damage, though. I want to know the base damage. Alright, I guess it's just going to change and progress as you level it. Burning Arrow. The ignite chance on levels over 20 continues to progress linearly, rather than slow progression as it previously did. That's cool. I mean, yeah, balance scaling for Burning Arrow, giving it some more love. It's currently like never ever used except for like races or early on, and then it gets phased out. Maybe this will bring more Burning Arrows into the end game. It's just really hard to justify using fire damage because as a status ailment, they're kind of lackluster unless you like proliferate. All support gems are now supported up to values of 30. Okay. The Marauder starting area has been reworked substantially. We saw this passive skill balance rechange or rework. The area between Duelist and Marauder has been reworked substantially. We saw that from the Garena teaser. The wheels of primary defenses around the Scion opening area have been changed to allow fast lateral progress. The values of the life wheel have been reduced. The elusiveness notable has been removed. So there's this thing where over here you have Path of the Hunter, and within 2 points you already hit another major skill point node. So this is being removed. A little too much evasion for so few, of a step. Those are very, very good combinations, but they feel like it's too OP. Several energy passes have been improved. I hope this is very, very promising. I honestly feel like the nodes right here is what they're talking about. These may become 8% again. I don't think that these are subject to change. I would expect this to change to 8, and maybe buff these to like, I don't know, 15. I don't know. I feel like this wheel will probably get buffed along with the single energy shield nodes. As far as these, yeah, these might get bumped up to 8. I feel like all the 6s maybe become 8s. All right. Most spell damage, elemental damage and specific elemental damage passes have been improved. This is a little vague, but I'm thinking overall spell damage and weapon elemental damage. I mean, we'll take a look at some of the lackluster ones. We have 888 here, 888 here. This is the only like really good cluster, 8824. So I would expect those to see pretty drastic improvements. Spell damage, we know that there's like plenty of shit near the witch, and I'm assuming they're also going to include like some of the earlier spell nodes to give them buffed. Vaal Pact no longer suppresses life recovery from Flask. Okay, so life recovery versus life regen. So even though you pop a potion um, with Vaal Pact, or even though you pop a potion and then you look at your tooltip will actually increase your life regen. However, they are two separate entities, life recovery versus life regen. So you'll still be able to use Flask. So if people are wondering if you're only able to use instant Flask because life recovery looks like life regen because it changes the number in your tooltip if you use a pot. It prevents life regeneration and now reduces your leech by 60%. This is also a drawback, but I think it's still a super buff to Vaal Pact for life users. This is a very big drawback for CI. So CI Vaal Pact just got way worse because of this reduced leech by 60%. That's a huge drawback. However, using stuff like Piranda Shield, which gives you 3%, Carnage Heart that gives you up to 10%, or regular rare enemies give you 6, 2% each on ring. You can get life leech on gloves and life leech on implicit other armors with corrupted. It's more than enough with decent damage to supplement the minus 60, the Mortal Strike effect. Very awesome Keystone. Um, very powerful. But shitty for CI. They really don't want you to pick up Vaal Pact as CI apparently. The Berserking Notable passive now only offers 12% attack speed. Okay, yeah, that's kind of too many people were cutting across in the middle to pick up this. This is an all too common route. But yeah, elemental adaptation has been moved from Marauder to Witch and Templar. This is a change I told you that was way too much of a cookie cutter area. Everyone that went Resolute Technique was easily picking up elemental adaptation. So it's going to be somewhere here, probably somewhere near Inner Force, maybe branching off over here or over here. It makes sense because if we think of purity of the elements, that is a blue gem. All the elements, it makes an int gem. So my guess is they were trying to move it to where it fits more into the tree and how it makes sense. Like this is int, this is strength, and this is dex. But if we look at the curse, the auras alone, purity is a blue gem. So my guess is they put it as close to the witch and as near the strength tree as possible because, you know, for people's builds, and although it's like moved, it's not completely inaccessible. Alright. Larger groups of critical strike multipliers have had their have some minor nodes removed. Okay, so this is a really good change. More often than not, it was not worth to make the investment to get to Throat Seeker. It's fucking 5 whopping points to get there, and you have to pick up a bunch of 10s. While the crit enthusiast was picking them up regardless. This is now going to make getting to crit multiplier nodes much easier. I would expect for like this wheel they probably chop off maybe two of these 10 multi nodes, and then right here where you have crit multi getting to Heartseeker, probably a 3 thing right there. This is okay right here, crit over there. There's some crit multi here. I wonder if they chop this out. I doubt it. 'Cause you don't really ever see a branch out of two. It's usually a little circle, with the exception of like endurance charge and duration and yeah. So very cool change to crit multiplier. It's going to make getting crit multi more efficient. However, they are nerfing crit multi on some items, and we'll discuss that in a little bit. Um, 2 stone rings can drop in all leagues. That's cool. Sanctified flasks, jade flask, prismatic rings will no longer drop. The taming can also be crafted. Um, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so this means if you own a legacy barracks just buy all the rings, you can still make it with the recipe. However, I don't think you can chance a taming. I don't think that's possible. But it may be. I may be wrong. We'll just assume that that's the correct way to approach that. Unique items that were exclusive to Domination and Nemesis can no longer drop. The increase in item quantity support gem can no longer drop. This is across all leagues. Increase in item quantity can no longer spawn on magic or rare items. We knew that. Increase in item quantity mods on unique items have been reduced by 30%. This I feel like is overall a good change. Item quantity and item progression was a bit OP and a bit fast. This is going to slow down that process. People that just boss farm all day, Man Ocean is going to suffer the most from stuff like this. Reduce the implicit values on hybrid strength and intelligence shields. So the resistance on my shield, which is 24 all res, I don't know if this means there are going to be legacy. I almost want to say that my shield will get nerfed, and yeah, it's unfortunate. They did it before with shield defenses. The local armor and energy shield was nerfed, like the base was nerfed, and therefore it lowered my shield. But I feel like the local implicit is also going to get nerfed. It's probably going to go down to 20. It fucking sucks because you know some people tweak their builds to rely on that 4 all res or whatever. I hope my shield doesn't change, but I honestly I'm expecting it to change because it's not an explicit affix that I actually try to roll myself. Like the 145 on this shield is a legacy mod. It is called Resplendent, and it has not changed. Quivers no longer awarded at the quest rewards. Okay. Mods that provide critical multiplier have been reduced. Okay, so while the Throat Seeker and other ones are easier to get, probably like a three wheel circle, the value is going to be reduced. That makes sense. So you can get it quicker, but less of it, but more per point that you invest. A fracturing mod has been added to the map affix pool. This is fucking insane. This is not going to increase XP. You guys have to realize that fracture is a nerf to deep XP gain. It's making you kill more shit for the same amount of XP. So yeah, very, very. I wish it was like a pack size thing, but this could be a true killer in the right combination. The attack speed, the name has been renamed. Okay. The attack speed penalty has been removed. All versions will not change. The following unique items have been changed with these existing versions. Using Divine Orb on the existing version will now roll the new mods and the new ranges. Aegis Aurora. Who fucking called it? 4% to 2%. That's exactly how I would have nerfed it. Um, but yeah, you guys knew this was coming. Rainbow Stride's elemental resist has been increased, so it's been buffed for the all res. But the mana has been severely reduced from 80 to 100 to 40 to 60. This is a pretty big change, but you know, a lot of Eldritch Battery people were relying on this to just be like their sole mana item. But this is a good change. The energy shield reduced from 150 to 200 to 140 to 180. This is not that big of a change. You lose a little bit of ES, but these numbers are actually inflated. I mean, the boots don't even get to 158 ES, so something like a number like 200 seems big, but it's actually not that much of a change. Um, the all-res action is really nice. The most important thing about Rainbow Strides was its movement speed coupled with spell block. So those two remain unchanged. Um, so I'm not too worried about Rainbow Strides. It's still a very, very good item because of that spell block that it provides. This is a huge change. Saphel's frame. Block chance applied to spells have been reduced from 100 to 120 to 70 to 80. The max resist is now 5 to 4. This is a big PvP change. PvP with spells was nearly impossible because people would just swap to Saphel's frame, and you were lucky as fuck just to even land a hit. And the minus 1%, that's huge. People were using this shield as a boss swap, fully face tank, dual piety GMP, and Aegis Aurora wasn't an enabler of doing that. So now those ultra tanky God mode builds aren't going to be so ultra tanky. There are going to be periods of time, and I highly doubt that you're going to have people doing shit like that balls deep in the new leagues with these items being like this. So trivializing the endgame content with a super buff broken build where you could just AFK and not press any buttons and just survive. Big change. You can now die pretty easily with an unlucky round of burst. Hold on one second, I need to sneeze. Alright, make sure my mic's not muted. Okay. Bringer of Rain. Maximum life has been reduced from 200 to 220 to 120 to 160. This is a pretty damn big nerf right here. This is the most that I've been concerned with this. A bit harsh. I would have just, if it was me, I would have done this part, which we'll talk about in a second. But I would not have touched the life. Maybe made the max to 200 because you can get 100 up to like 99 on a helm and up to 109 on a chest, so that's 209, maybe 200 max, but this is pretty damn harsh. No bullshit. They did keep the block chance, the 15% block chance, which is good, and the physical damage, which gives you a lot of damage. These aren't as bad as people may think. The supporting blind now is level 6. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at that. Blind level 6, so we'll actually look at the difference. It's blind level 18. So blind level 6 gives you a 9% chance. Level 18 gives you 12% chance, or yeah, 12% chance versus 9. That's 3% chance difference. The duration 8% versus 26. So as long as you're actively attacking, you shouldn't notice too much of a change with the blind. I think it's justifiable. Not too bad. Not too bad. I'll go back and look at the patch notes. Where'd they go? Did I? Oh yeah, I passed it. Sorry about that. Um, where else is the change? Okay, so now we look at, and the supporting faster attacks is now 12%. So 12% fast attacks. We'll look at the difference. It's 18 versus. So at level 18, it's 42% attack speed. At level 12, it's 36. So it's going to net a 6% attack speed nerf, which is not too bad. Sorry, I was scratching my eyes. I couldn't see it. Yeah, 12 versus 16 or 18. 6% nerf, not too bad. Overall, it's still a great item. 6% off the attack speed, 3% chance off the blind. The big hit was the HP. It's still no matter the way you look at it, it's still a 7 link. More like a 6 link, I guess. But either way, it's going to solve a lot of your damage problems early on, and its drop rate, I assume, is to remain unchanged. It's going to be very common, which I guess is the intended design, according to the diamond supporter or whatever. Malagaro's virtuosity crit multiplier has been reduced from 40 to 50 to 28 to 36. Big change. Lots of damage that's going to scale people's insane hundreds of thousands damage to reality. While it might not affect your character that much because your crit chance is low, your power charges are low, you don't run with power charges. This for a DPS enthusiast is a huge blow. It may make Thunderfist more competitive, which it should. Ramirez Banquet crit multiplier has been reduced from 10 to 20 to 10 to 15. Okay. Fix the bug awarding where multiple characters in the same account for prizes. A graphical glitch with arrows stuck in them. All these items all these changes are, yeah, not really worth talking about. Fix the bug with font chemming. Now this is actually funny because there's like an inside joke with Chris. It's supposed to be kerning, but he's making fun of that internet shit where the letters are too close together, so it makes it look like a different word, and it's just Chris being Chris. Overall, some good balance changes. I'm not too happy with the Vaal, the corruption stuff not being undoable. One of the mods to corruption is to re-roll the item, like it'll actually use it like a chaos orb. So you could have like the original mirrored item, spend hundreds and maybe even 1,000 plus exalts or eternal exalts, get the perfect item, you corrupt it, and then it chaoses it. Like it re-rolls it and it's permanent. So what you have is what you have. However, as far as a mirror service, I don't foresee people doing this on chess because you can't change the color of the links. And you can't imprint it. So imprinting. So my Saintly Chainmail, although I had major concerns that it would just go down in value because people would just eternal imprint, it's actually going to retain a lot of its value, even though it's not corrupted. The other thing is having something like a level 3 Empower, which takes an ungodly amount of time to level. Empower level 3. I got two of these. One of them is somewhere else. But a level 3 Empower, corrupting it and having it D level 1, I'd probably slam my dick in a drawer. That shit is brutal. However, it does bring interesting mechanics to like where you could get it to level 2 and then corrupt it and see if you can get to level 3. So you're just completely skipping the XP that it would need to get to level 3. Honestly, I think this is much more of a feasible thing for a hardcore league because it's hard as shit to get XP in the first place. You're putting yourself at risk every day. So I think level 2 empowering and YOLO corrupting is going to be a new thing. In the softcore leagues, obviously you're just going to get this shit to 3. There's no limit. Yeah, but it's going to drive the prices of these kinds of gems up insanely. Like they're like 10 to 15 exalts now at level 3. If you put them at a corruption and you get the +4, it's going to be fucking insane. Like I think it'll get to 50 to 60 exalts, maybe more. So we're definitely going to see a shift into levels as far as obviously getting quality on something like enhance or empower, where it just increases the XP. It's fucking retarded. So you can skunk out on your roll, corrupt an empower gem to get 23 quality on your empower gem. Who gives a shit if you get more XP on it? It can't change, and it's never going to get any better. However, we'll go ahead and talk about. So in power, you definitely want the +1. Enhance, you want the +1. You don't want the quality. So which gems would you actually prefer the quality over the level? And that one would probably be gems like Immortal Call. Immortal Call, the level and the quality do the same thing to the duration. It actually increases it by at the same rate. So if I get 5 quality on a level 1 Immortal Call, it's like a level 6 Immortal Call. So you can see how the percent which you can actually get higher is going to be more beneficial to get quality on Immortal Call versus the +1 level, because the +1 level is like equivalent to the +1 quality. Another gem that you're probably going to want the quality over the level, and that is going to be Life Leech. The Life Leech quality speeds up the rate at which you can leech, and honestly you can get to the point so easily where your damage will automatically cap with even a small amount of Life Leech. So you want to increase the rate at which you leech with the quality version. I don't have one on this character, but Life Leech, Mana Leech will expedite the speed at which you gain, which is you know pretty big when you're fucking corrupting this stuff. Getting 0.4% Life Leech is not really going to help too much. It would help if your damage sucks, but once your damage gets to be at the high end, it has no effect. You know, so you're going to want something like quality on Life Leech and stuff like that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video of this breakdown on the patch notes and what I think about it. I'll continue to do more informative videos on my YouTube. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe. I'll see you